Cardiovascular system. Atrium. Atrium. Ventricle. Ventricle. Endocardium. Endocardium. Myocardium. Myocardium. Epicardium. Epicardium. Pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid. Tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve. Pulmonary semilunar valve. Pulmonary semilunar valve. Mitral valve. Mitral valve. Aortic semilunar valve. Aortic semilunar valve. Coronary artery. Coronary artery. Left coronary artery. Left coronary artery. Right coronary artery. Right coronary artery. Coronary sinus. Coronary sinus. T-wave. T-wave. Pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation. Aorta. Aorta. Systemic circulation. Systemic circulation. Sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node. Atrioventricular node. Atrioventricular node. Atrioventricular bundle. Atrioventricular bundle. Bundle of his. Bundle of his. Purkinje fiber. Purkinje fiber. Sinus rhythm. Sinus rhythm. Electrocardiogram. Electrocardiogram. P-wave. P-wave. QRS complex. QRS complex. Common carotid artery. Common carotid artery. Internal carotid artery. Internal carotid artery. External carotid artery. External carotid artery. Arterial. Arterial. Capillary. Capillary. Venule. Venule. Superficial vein. Superficial vein. Deep vein. Deep vein. Vena cava. Vena cava. Superior vena cava. Superior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. Pulse. Pulse. Blood pressure. Blood pressure. Systolic pressure. Systolic pressure. Diastolic pressure. Diastolic pressure. Congenital heart defect. Congenital heart defect. Tetralogy of Fallot. Tetralogy of Fallot. Ventricular septal defect. Ventricular septal defect. Aortic overriding. Aortic overriding. Pulmonary artery stenosis. Pulmonary artery stenosis. Right ventricular hypertrophy. Right ventricular hypertrophy. Patent ductus arteriosus. Patent ductus arteriosus. Coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. Atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. Plaque. Plaque. Atheroma. Atheroma. Ischemia. Ischemia. Angina. Angina. Angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. Stable angina. Stable angina. Unstable angina. Unstable angina. Myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction. Heart failure. Heart failure. Left-sided heart failure. Left-sided heart failure. Right-sided heart failure. Right-sided heart failure. Cardiomegaly. Cardiomegaly. Carditis. Carditis. Endocarditis. Endocarditis. Bacterial endocarditis. Bacterial endocarditis. Pericarditis. Pericarditis. Myocarditis. Myocarditis. Cardiomyopathy. Cardiomyopathy. Dilated cardiomyopathy. Dilated cardiomyopathy. Cardiac murmur. Cardiac murmur. Valvulitis. Valvulitis. Valvular prolapse. Valvular prolapse. Valvular stenosis. valvular stenosis, arrhythmia, arrhythmia, bradycardia, bradycardia, tachycardia, tachycardia, ventricular tachycardia, ventricular tachycardia, supraventricular tachycardia, supraventricular tachycardia, heart block, heart block, atrial fibrillation, atrial fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation, palpitation, palpitation, asystole, asystole, cardiac arrest, cardiac arrest, vasculitis, vasculitis, polyarteritis, polyarteritis, temporal arteritis, temporal arteritis, phlebitis, phlebitis, angiostenosis, angiostenosis, hemangioma, hemangioma, hypoperfusion, hypoperfusion, aneurysm, aneurysm, arteriosclerosis, arteriosclerosis, arteriostenosis, arteriostenosis, chronic venous insufficiency, chronic venous insufficiency, varicose vein, varicose vein, thrombosis, thrombosis, thrombus, thrombus, thrombotic occlusion, thrombotic occlusion, coronary thrombosis, coronary thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis, deep vein thrombosis, embolism, embolism, embolus, embolus, peripheral vascular disease, peripheral vascular disease, peripheral arterial disease, peripheral arterial disease, Raynaud disease, Raynaud disease, angiography, angiography, cardiac catheterization, cardiac catheterization, digital subtraction angiography, digital subtraction angiography, duplex ultrasonography, duplex ultrasonography, transesophageal echocardiography, transesophageal echocardiography, venography, venography, electrocardiography, electrocardiography, electrocardiogram, electrocardiogram, Holter monitor, Holter monitor, stress test, stress test, thallium stress test, thallium stress test, cardiopulmonary bypass, cardiopulmonary bypass, angioplasty, angioplasty, percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty, percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty, laser angioplasty, laser angioplasty, stent, stent, atherectomy, atherectomy, carotid endarterectomy, carotid endarterectomy, coronary artery bypass, coronary artery bypass, minimally invasive direct coronary artery bypass, minimally invasive direct coronary artery bypass, defibrillation, defibrillation, automated external defibrillator, automated external defibrillator, artificial pacemaker, artificial pacemaker, implantable cardioverter defibrillator, implantable cardioverter defibrillator, cardiac ablation, cardiac ablation, valvuloplasty, valvuloplasty, heart valve replacement, heart valve replacement, transcatheter aortic valve replacement, transcatheter aortic valve replacement, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, aneurysmectomy, aneurysmectomy, aneurysmorrhaphy, aneurysmorrhaphy, aneurysmoplasty, aneurysmoplasty, aneurysm clipping, aneurysm clipping, arteriectomy, arteriectomy, antihypertensive drug, antihypertensive drug, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor, beta blocker, beta blocker, calcium channel blocker, calcium channel blocker, diuretic, diuretic, antianginal, antianginal, antiarrhythmic, antiarrhythmic, cardiotonic, cardiotonic, digitalis, digitalis, vasoconstrictor, vasoconstrictor, antihistamine, antihistamine, vasodilator, vasodilator, nitroglycerin, nitroglycerin,